There's an article by John Plender, who's one of my favorite columnists here. Central bank firepower risks creating false sense of security. So there's some second thoughts about QE3, and what his second thoughts are is this sort of thing that I told you when it first came out, which is what this does is to put a floor under a certain set of security prices, but it doesn't do anything fundamental. You know, if the problem is a fiscal problem, it doesn't do anything about that. And that's what he's basically pointing out, that the central bank actions are buying time, but if you don't use that time to do anything, okay, then you haven't really done anything. And his last paragraph is worth having in mind. He says, throughout history, monetary experiments have shown a nasty tendency to blow up. I repeat, this experiment is vast. It must not breed complacency. I would say words to live by right there. And then on the opposite, so this is about, he's saying if the public authorities don't take advantage of this window of opportunity that the central bank has bought them, there could be trouble. That's what he's saying. On the right-hand side, there's another article, Hedge Fund Skeptics Take on the Bulls Over QE Infinity, okay? And this is about whether bets inside the private investment world about how much of a kick you're going to get from QE anyway. Okay, and maybe you're not going to get very much. There's some hedge funds that say, look, QE1 worked pretty well, QE2 worked a little less well, QE3 may not work at all in terms of getting a bump for aggregate demand, in terms of getting a bump even for asset prices. And if you think that, okay, then you are in fact not a bull, you're a bear, and you trade against the people who think that this means there's going to be a huge stock market boom. So the stock market investors are also having second thoughts about QE and whether this is going to do anything. So it may not even buy us very much time, is the point. Okay, it buys us time, but it buys us less time if private investors don't believe that it's gonna work and they trade against it. So we will see, is the point. But central banks have done this not because they're necessarily very optimistic about it having strong positive effects, but because no one else is doing anything. And so they're trying to hold the thing together. And I think today we're going to see a symptom in repo rates of some of the stresses of the system. That's what I'm going to argue.